employees within 30 days of employment and thereafter make the prescribed contributions. Remember, registration and contribution to the National Health Insurance is mandatory by law. Be compliant, pay on time to avoid prosecution without further notice. National Health Insurance, leaving no one behind.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is to buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else to buy Filma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news. The headlines. RTSA cautions motorists and all road users to observe road safety rules and regulations during the Farmers' Day long weekend. Zambia Police Service denies arresting 5 individuals at the ZESCO stand in the showgrounds. Nigerians hit with 24-hour curfews amid protests. This news bulletin is also streaming live on the 5FM Facebook page and the YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, Herbert Mutabi. RTSA acting head of public relations, Mukela Mangolwa, says with the Zambia Agriculture and Commercial Show taking place in Lusaka under the long weekend, the agency anticipates an increase in vehicle and pedestrian traffic on the roads leading to and on the Great Easter Road, posing a high risk to all road users if traffic rules and regulations are not adhered to. Mr. Mangolwa is also calling on motorists driving to various parts of the country to exercise maximum caution, drive within the stipulated speed limits, and use appropriate and roadworthy modes of transport. The RTSA reiterates its call on motorists not to drive at excessive speed, avoid overloading, drunk driving, and use of mobile phones whilst driving.
The agency is in the process of implementing seatbelt and child, car seat campaign. So we are getting more strict on this one to ensure that people driving and carrying children on their cars need to buckle them up, or better still have them in child car seats. So we're enforcing the law as it applies on this one to ensure that people comply. Our call to members of the public, to motorists, is to ensure that they adhere to traffic regulations looking at the high volumes of traffic, especially in Lusaka with the show going on.
The Zambia Police Service has refuted claims circulating on social media regarding the alleged arrest of 5 individuals at the ZESCO stand in the showgrounds. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga says contrary to these reports, no such arrests have been made at the ZESCO stand or anywhere within the showgrounds by the Zambia Police Service. Mr. Hamonga says that the service takes its mandate to uphold the law and order very seriously, and it is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all event attendees. He has emphasized that no incidents of arrest have occurred as reported. Mr. Hamonga says officers are present at the showgrounds to maintain peace, manage crowd control, and provide assistance as needed. He says that the service will continue to work closely with event organizers and security personnel to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for all visitors. He has urged members of the public and the media to verify information before dissemination to avoid the spread of misinformation. President Hakainde Hichilema has assured the Zambian people that he will continue to uphold and defend the constitution. This follows the emotive debate and the distorted narrative being peddled by the opposition to the effect that government wants to embark on a secret constitutional review process, specifically to extend the presidential term limit from 5 to 7 years. President Hichilema notes that for avoidance of doubt, he sought to uphold and defend the Republican Constitution. President Hichilema remains resolute to defend the Constitution and has no interest in manipulating it for his personal benefit. This is according to a statement issued by State House Chief Communication Specialist Clayson Hamasaka. The government has acknowledged that the challenge of low numbers of girls re-entering school after pregnancy and child marriage, attributing the issue to the lack of appreciation for the menstrual health management program by some parents. Speaking at the second quarter National Development Coordinating Committee, a representative from the civil society organization, Brian Moayo Wanyambe, states that there is a need for sensitization on the part of some parents. He says that during the first and second quarter, only 1,480 secondary school girls re-entered and 2,824 re-entered in primary school. And Mr. Moayo Wanyambe says the out-of-school access increase target was set at 3,000. Only 965 were fully enrolled due to lack of adequate classroom space. He, however, stated that in the second quarter, government targeted to employ 3,000 secondary school teachers and managed to employ 4,000.
Number of school-aged girls re-entering after pregnancy and child marriage, both primary and secondary schools. So for primary school, the target was met at 1,480, and also for secondary, the target was partially met at 2,824 due to lack of appreciation of the re-entry by some parents. So meaning we have a lot of work to do in this regard.
In other news trending this evening, the Republic of Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye has announced the donation of 5,000 tons of maize, rice, and beans as a gesture of solidarity aimed at helping Zambia mitigate the impact of El Nino. UPND Special Assistant for Mobilization and Politics in the Office of the Secretary General, Michael Chuzu, has charged that most of the opposition parties do not have strong presence on the ground. Up next, business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
In business news, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, has observed an increase in the Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, BNNB, survey, which now stands at 10,000 kwacha, 575.93 ngwe, reflecting a 133 kwacha, 48 ngwe increase compared to the month of June. This rise was attributed to increase in the prices of various commodities. JCTR Social and Economic Development Program Manager Muchimba Siamachoka says that the cost of a 25 kg bag of Roramil rose to 284 kwacha, 8 ngwe from 262 kwacha, 14 ngwe. Ms. Siamachoka says the price of 1 kg of kapenta increased to 377 kwacha, 52 ngwe from 294 kwacha, 74 ngwe, and the price of 40 kg of vegetables went up to 554 kwacha, 46 ngwe from 498 kwacha, 40 ngwe. She has since urged the government to clearly outline their strategy for addressing the high cost of living, with a particular focus on middle-income households burdened by tax obligations and rising expenses. She adds that government must improve food production and availability in the next farming season, and also intensify the sensitization and financial support for the cultivation of a diverse range of crops beyond maize, as well as intensifying winter food production initiatives.
While the JCTR acknowledges initiatives such as empowerment and social protection programs aimed at mitigating the high cost of living, these efforts have not fully translated into improving livelihoods, as evidenced by the persistent high cost of commodities relative to lower incomes. It is therefore evident that the cost of living, despite its multifaceted nature, remains unacceptably high, posing a significant challenge for households and affecting the overall performance of economic activities. Therefore, the Center calls for stronger and more targeted actions to address the escalating cost of living. In light of these challenges, we present the following recommendations to effectively tackle this issue.
Ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
In foreign news, millions of residents in northern Nigeria have been placed under 24-hour curfews amid nationwide protests against the high cost of living. Governments in the states of Kano, Jigawa, Obe, and Katsina have ordered locals not to leave their homes and therefore not attend protests on Friday. The authorities say the curfew is necessary because hoodlums have hijacked the protests in order to loot and vandalize properties. There is heavy security presence around the country, with 9 more days of rage scheduled by the movement's organizers. Here's a roundup from the BBC for other world news stories.
Men accused of planning the 9/11 attacks on the United States have agreed to a plea deal. US media say the men will plead guilty in exchange for the prosecution agreeing not to seek the death penalty. They've been held in Guantanamo Bay without trial. Kyiv's allies say the first F-16 fighter jets have been delivered to Ukraine. They'll significantly boost the country's air force. It should get about 80 of the jets, but training the pilots for them is a long process.
In sports news, Fulham have announced the club record signing of Arsenal midfielder Emil Smith Rowe for an initial £27 million, while the Cottages have not disclosed the total fee for the 24-year-old. It is understood that the deal could rise to £34 million with add-ons. Smith Rowe, who joined Arsenal as a 10-year-old, made his senior debut for the Gunners at the age of 18 and made 80 Premier League appearances for the club, scoring 12 times. He has 3 England caps, although his last came in March 2022. Up next is the weather report. Stay tuned.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Western, Southern, Lusaka, Central, Northwestern, Copperbelt, Eastern, Muchinga, Northern, and Alopula provinces. The evening will be windy at times and mild with clear skies. Ends the weather report.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. RTSA cautions motorists and all road users to observe road safety rules and regulations during the Farmers' Day long weekend. Zambia Police Service denies arresting 5 individuals at the ZESCO stand on the showgrounds. Nigerians with 24-hour curfews amid protests. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Hub of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned. 5FM Radio. I'm Herbert Mutabi.